Good morning, Brownsville. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on when you're watching this feed. If this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Frankie Olivo. Our program focuses on the very important issues that are affecting our local community. We have shed light on injustices and we have allowed for our platform, this mic, to be that of the voice of the people. If this is something you can see yourself supporting, well, we ask that you support the cause. Make sure that you follow all of our social media platforms. Currently, right now, this live program is being streamed on X, formerly known as Twitter, and on Facebook. We could be found under Frankie Olivo. Make sure you follow our personal page on Face. We could be found under Olivo Frankie. But more importantly, if you haven't already, create a Gmail account, go to YouTube, like, follow, and subscribe to our channel titled Frankie Olivo TV. It's free. As of late, our Facebook page is at risk of being taken down. The powers that be do not want you, the voter, the constituent, to know the truth. But remember, we will not be silenced. So if you're really about the cause and you want to stand up to corruption and hold our elected leaders and those in leadership positions accountable, make sure that you subscribe to our social media platforms. You could subscribe to our X, formerly known as Twitter, our Facebook pages, and more importantly, on our YouTube channel. Remember, Good Morning Brownsville will come on Monday through Friday religiously. So make sure that you subscribe to Frankie Olivo TV to tune in. We will not be silenced. And always remember, Brownsville, we are forever grateful to each and every one of you for the time and attention that you provide us. Thank you so much for that. How we doing, chat? How we doing? I hope each and every one of you had an eventful, memorable Christmas holidays with your loved one. Unfortunately, we got bad news. We got bad news over the Christmas holidays, and it's unfortunate because for many people, Christmas has a different meaning. The typical one is, we hang out with our loved ones. We celebrate the holidays by exchanging gifts. That is a sign of possibly the many blessings that we receive throughout the year. And Christmas is a time of love, of peace, of making memories, of hanging out with your loved ones. Unfortunately for Cameron County, we got some somber news. We broke the story here at Good Morning Brownsville of a Rivera High School coach, the track coach. He was involved in a domestic violence incident where it is alleged that he shot at his wife and his child in the wee hours of Christmas Eve. We weren't too happy to report that a BISD employee once again was in the news for all the wrong reasons. And when we checked with our sources, we kept on asking, what the heck is going on at Rivera High School? It seems as if nothing but bad news has plagued that school. There is a dark cloud over that school. The unfortunate thing was, the great thing was that the wife and the daughter, they weren't hurt. The wife is a BISD employee, but again, a time where people are celebrating and making memories. Unfortunately, this Rivera High School coach, teacher, he lost his livelihood. For the rest of his life, he's going to have to deal with the thought of him trying to hurt his possibly the person that he most loves the most, his child, according to the allegations made by police. Domestic violence is real, ladies and gentlemen. During Christmas, during the holidays, it is a time, and I saw this mainly, or I think we all saw this. I saw this mainly during COVID. COVID was a time where it was a time of uncertainty. We saw how domestic violence, the consumption of alcohol, of drug use increased dramatically. The holidays ain't no different. While we are happy and joyful, it's crazy. It's because people aren't happy in life, and and they drown their sorrows in substances. And what happens, they lead to these reactions. It's very, very unfortunate. We weren't happy to be the ones to break the story, but at the end of the day, that is our job, to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. In the city of Harlingen, also, the city of Harlingen, we saw how there was a police officer involved shooting, and we posted the video where a man pointed a firearm, and I think he shot at officers, and they took him down. This was a man that over the Christmas holiday, he was being there was a bulletin out for his location. There was a domestic violence incident with one of his family members during the holidays. I think he was he was wanted for an aggravated assault. And that aggravated assault on that family member ended up being his death. Very, very sad week. We have to remind people that, and maybe I'm a hypocrite, but that's one of the main reasons why I don't drink. I don't partake in that. Yes, I'll have one every now and then for a special moment, but individuals, they consume themselves with these substances, and they aren't able to control their emotions. Unfortunately, it was a sad and tragic week for many, but I do hope that each and every one of you had um, a good Christmas and are looking forward to the New Year's. The New Year's is a time where many of us reflect on this 2025 year, and we look at our goals. For those individuals that partake in this, the best thing to do is write down your goals. Put them somewhere. Put them on your fridge. Put them in your car. Put them in your mirror. Somewhere where you're going to see yourself. And each goal, you have to ask yourself the question, what am I doing today to get closer to my goal? The most common one is weight loss, right? We all gain a couple pounds. We had a baby. We had a child ask me, "Are you pregnant?" I was like, "What the hell is wrong with you?" "No, I'm just overweight, girl." So that was kind of that kind of offended me. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I think I need to start worrying about my weight." But there could be personal goals. There could be uh, goals within our profession, within our job that we want to meet. So during this time, while others are celebrating and looking forward to these holidays, we have the children. They're out for the next week or so. Many people, unfortunately, did lose a loved one. Many people did suffer from domestic abuse, domestic violence, and it's not just violence per se; it's emotional, physical, and we tend to see a rise in this whenever we have the holidays. I'm not sure, Gene, in regards to the coach. From what I understood, many people had nothing but good things to say about him, whether they were former students, colleagues, or just people that went to school with him. I'm not sure the situation. There was allegations of infidelity. I did want to talk about that. I don't want to. I didn't want to post that out there because we did get word of the wife who the wife is, where she works. All I'm going to say is, no matter if someone's being unfaithful to a person, that is no reason to try and take their life. Unfortunately, there's other ways. There's counseling. There's go run, go punch a wall, go break your hand. Don't put a woman and your daughter, much less in harm's way. But again, that's the information that we have been given so far. Johnson says, "My goal is to be able to walk again, and I will." Johnson, that's a very powerful statement. The most important thing that I want you to remember, brother, is the power of the mind. The mind is very powerful. I wholeheartedly believe in the power of manifestation. I don't want to go into detail, but things have happened throughout this year and previous years that I have wanted. And it's all because of here. And I don't like to share these things because people say, "Oh, you're crazy," or "Oh, you think that, you know, you're the chosen one." No, by no means. I'm a very humble person. But I do believe in the power of prayer, and I do believe the power of the mind. It is said that whenever individuals succumb to an illness, whether that be cancer or whatnot, whenever a person gives up mentally, their body slowly starts not functioning. Remember, our body is a machine, and our mind is designed in a way to. It's so integrated that our mind controls our body, so to speak. Um, Johnson, if you have a goal to walk again, you will, brother. You will. All you have to do is write your goals down. Make sure that you're reading your goals each and every day when you wake up. And I promise you, if you continue through your rehab, if you continue and focus on getting to that goal, you're gonna do it. You're gonna get there. Um, it was unfortunate. It's unfortunate that you're going through this. But again, I wholeheartedly believe that if we have life, there is hope. Cuando hay vida, hay esperanza. We can set everything we set our minds to. Don't give up. Be positive. You're going to have setbacks. That is the reality of life. But the good thing is that you're alive and that you have goals and that you have people around you. They're going to be motivating you and encouraging you to get to them. It's going to be very somber for you. It's going to be very bittersweet whenever you actually take those steps, Johnson. I wholeheartedly believe in you. I will be saying a prayer for you. I know my people will as well. And make sure you reach out to us whenever you accomplish that goal. Who said you were the chosen one? I did, Gamboa. I am the chosen one. It is, is stitched in my brain. Again, the power of the mind, my friend, the power of the mind. Word on the grapevine was that he was involved in the student teacher scandal and was confronted by the wife. Wow, Johnson, that would be some serious allegations. I had never thought of that. I will contact my source because the source, uh, again, big shouts out to people such as Brownsville Hood News, Tito Pulga, Tito La Pulga. They are pages, platforms that keep our community informed on what is going on. I got a word maybe 20 minutes after Brownsville Hood posted it, and my source reached out to me and said, Rivera coach, this is his name. This is his wife. This is where she works. This is the reasons why it happened. Those are very strong allegations. I'll reach back to my source in regards to that. That would be very serious and could possibly be a reason why he did snap. Again, this was at 6 in the morning. What are people doing at 6 in the morning? Hopefully opening up gifts. But in my experience, people at that time during the holidays, andan bien tronados. They're binge drinking. They're consuming substances, possibly illegal substances, and it's not a good concoction. So I'll check back with my source, Johnson, in regards to that. They weren't. They were vague about it. They said that there was allegations of infidelity, but again, to me, that's not important. To me, is the safety and well being of the family as a whole. But I'll check back. I'll check back in regards to that. And he just snapped. Know what I mean? Again, there's never an excuse for someone to react that way. Life isn't fair, life isn't perfect, but we should always try to protect women and children, especially if they're ours. There is no excuse for that, in my opinion. No matter what she did, if she was unfaithful, if they could have a thousand excuses, but that's not reason for him to take action the way he did. So again, Johnson, I believe in you, my man. Let me know if there's anything you need on my end. But again, believe it, not only in your mind, my brother, but in your heart. And if you take the steps necessary each and every day, you're going to get to your goal. And trust me, whenever you do, I hope you think about us. And I wish you much success on your journey. There are going to be setbacks. But again, once you get there, everything's going to be a whole lot better. I'll be praying for you, Johnson. Ladies and gentlemen, today I wanted to talk about a very important topic that has been brewing as of late. We titled our program, Exactly Who Gave Away Boca Chica Beach to Elon Musk? This is a very important question because one thing that I pride this platform on being is informative. We want to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. Unfortunately, many people criticize us and say, oh, you're biased. Oh, you favor someone over the other. Our platform will always support candidates, whether they're Republican or Democrat. And I know my Republican friends aren't going to like this, but this platform will always support politicians that do what's the best interest of the community. And we have been throwing candidates out there because we will hardly believe in the mission that they promise. We also believe in educating. We believe that you as a constituent should know the truth. Unfortunately, we have elections coming up we're 50 days away from early voting for the primary elections of 2026 will start on February 17th, ladies and gentlemen. We're less than 50 days away. By the time you know it, early voting is right on our doorstep. And we took it upon ourselves to make sure that you as a voter, you as a constituent, have all the information. Remember, here at Good Morning Brownsville, we give you the black and the white. We stay away from the gray area. We want you to have all the information. And once you have the information, you can make a better decision at the ballot box. That is my goal before you. So today, Cameron County, exactly who gave away the Boca Chica Beach to Elon Musk, the world's richest man? And that is how we will start today's program. But first, a word from our sponsors.
Hi everyone, Jonathan Gracia here. We're doing a little bit of block walking to make sure that we're spreading our message, letting voters know of the importance of the upcoming election on March 3rd. I'll be walking your homes in order to be able to let you know my plan for treasurer and how we can improve efficiency and make sure that our taxes are lowered. Hopefully you're having a great Merry Christmas and happy holidays, and we'll see you out in the streets.
One thing that we could all agree is many people see Elon Musk as taking advantage of us here, residents of Brownsville, residents of South Texas, Cameron County. When we look at the big picture, many people have argued, and look, I understand the way environmentalists feel. I understand, and I'm going to show you to cap off this show. I'm going to show you a 5-6 minute clip from the Wall Street Journal that covered Brownsville and covered important people within our community that asked them questions about Elon Musk and controlling the beaches. There is no question. Here in South Texas, we are one of the poorest in all of the United States and one of the least educated. It feels as if, according to many people, it feels as if Elon Musk, being the world's richest man, took advantage of us. He found an area that benefited geographically his rocket launch site, and he took it away from us. There was an analogy that someone gave me. Remember when fajita was the new thing? It was like the poor man's food. Fajita at one time, I remember, I've been barbecuing for at least 20 years. I remember fajita was like 5 cents a pound. Maybe 5 cents. $5 a pound, chinga, 5 cents. $5 a pound. Some people say, I remember when it was $3 a pound, Frankie. It wasn't like how it is now where you have to buy fajita. Before that was the poor man's meat. Now, what do we see whenever we go to a carniceria? Fajita is what, $12, $13, depending on where you get it. It is a necessity. People don't get the chicken. The chicken now is what, $3 a pound, $5 a pound, depending on where you're going. But now they made something that was affordable into something you're like, ay, mejor que coman chicken. I'm not going to spend $12 on a pound for a pound of fajita. What are you talking about, Willis? That is something that people have used the analogy. Fajita was once a poor man's food. Now it's expensive. Same thing with Boca Chica Beach. I can remember beautiful times when my grandfather would take his RV And we would go to Boca Chica Beach, and we would have memorable times. If you talk to fishermen, in the area, that's their paradise. That's their treasure. Our very own national treasure, local treasure here, Boca Chica Beach. Many people are up in arms by this idea that the world's richest man is now controlling our beach. Not only that, but they created their own city. And with elections coming up, Johnson, many people are going to use this idea. One of the important races out there is the Democratic primary race for county judge, where we have three candidates. We have the incumbent Judge Eddie Trevino, we have Port Chairman Steve Guerra, and we have former sheriff / district clerk Eddie Garza. We all know where Judge Eddie Trevino sides with, and we have seen his platform. If you haven't seen it, make sure you go to his page on Facebook, where he talks about the investment that SpaceX has made, and it's every judge's goal to grow economic development. That is a one thing that many people have thought of the notion of a county judge. Well, you're supposed to grow. You're supposed to grow. One thing, ladies and gentlemen, one thing that I wanted to talk about today was this idea of Boca Chica Beach, because many people are saying, oh, well, the politicians gave it away. The politicians are making money. The politicians gave Elon Musk this 10-year tax abatement. Why? Why are they giving away our land? And again, my job, my role before you is to educate. Yesterday, we posted this announcement for today's show. And we asked the question, hey, Cameron County, good evening. Don't you want to know exactly who gave away Boca Chica Beach to the world's richest man? And someone commented. And they said, we all know it was Eddie Trevino and Sofia Benavides. And it got me thinking, was it Eddie Trevino and Sofia Benavides? Well, let's ask this important question. As of late, on the New York Times, ladies and gentlemen, on the New York Times, there was an article where there was a proposal by President Trump that he may give 775 acres of federal wildlife to SpaceX. In exchange for the land in Texas, SpaceX would give the government some of its own property nearby. And many people were up in arms. What do you mean? They're going to give up more land? Isn't that enough? The U.S. Fishing and Wildlife Services is addressing this issue, this proposed land exchange between the President Trump's administration and SpaceX, which could potentially expand the space company's launch site here in Cameron County. The New York Times did report this past Tuesday about the proposed land exchange, which would give almost 1,000 acres of the lower Rio Grande Valley National Wildlife to SpaceX. Currently, right now, the United States Fishing and Wildlife Services currently owns and manages this refuge. A spokesperson for the U.S. Fishing and Wildlife Services said that the exchange would enhance protections for fish and wildlife resources in the United States. They were quoted as saying this exchange would enhance protections for fish and wildlife resources at the lower Rio Grande Valley and Laguna Atascosa National Wildlife Refuges by acquiring high-quality habitat for newer species, including the endangered ocelots, a falcon, a prowler, and a sea turtle. But again, many people are questioning, why? Why are we giving him everything? Shouldn't the world's richest man pay for something? Isn't he having enough with the tax abatements that he's been getting? Isn't Eddie Trevino giving him everything? Well, let's take a look at this because, in my opinion, this is a very, very important issue. And one of the main issues that I've heard is of the beach closures. That is something that someone such as Judge Bobby Lerma. Bobby Lerma has been very vocal. For those that aren't aware, Judge Bobby Lerma owns property on Palmito Ranch, at Palmito Ranch, which is headed towards Boca Chica Beach. And the judge has been very vocal and adamant in saying, hey, I'm going to fight this. I'm not going to stand down. This is my home. This is my property. In the clip that I'm going to show you in later in the program, he states that, hey, they try to buy me off. They try to offer me money, and it's every day. They're constant. We want to buy your property. We want to buy your property. He says, no, I'm not going to buy your property. I'm not going to sell you my property. And many people, fishermen, are very upset of this. How are you going to close our beaches? According to the Texas Constitution, no one could close the beach. Yes, the judge could close the beach for hurricanes and things like that, but now they amended the Constitution to allow SpaceX to do these closures, which ultimately has upset many people. Johnson says this is all because Elon Musk gave President Trump $250 million for his campaign to get reelected. Is this a tit for tat? Is this a quid pro quo where I give you this in exchange for you giving me what I want? I'm not familiar with the name of the area. Are you referring to where Judge Bobby Lerma lives? It's my understanding that that property, that location is Palmito Ranch. I could be wrong. I have friends that have been there. I personally would love to go and see it. But I have people that have gone there. I don't recall, Gamboa, this being called Colony 956. I could be wrong, though. I will definitely look into it. But when we look, ladies and gentlemen, at SpaceX, let's talk about what happened back in 2013. Back in 2012, 2013, there was a change in the Constitution, the Texas Constitution, in regards to beach closures. There was this idea that from way back when, we are 2026, we're just about 2026, this occurred, this picture, and I could identify 4 people in this picture. The first one, obvious, in the middle is Elon Musk. To his right was then Senator Eddie Lucio Jr. After that, right next to Senator Lucio was Representative Oliveira. God bless his soul. Right next to Representative Oliveira was Representative Eddie Lucio III. Now, this was back in 2013, 2014. This was something that has been brewing as of late. And for those people that are aware and are familiar with this, and I wish I should have asked Brownsville Tech Live host Danny Salinas in regards to this. Boca Chica Beach was chosen over sites in Puerto Rico, Atlanta, and there's another one. I could be wrong. Atlanta may be a facility where they build the rockets, but Boca Chica Beach was in contention with other sites. Geographically speaking, Boca Chica Beach was chosen because of its proximity to the water and also because of the curve. And I know I'm probably getting this wrong, and I apologize, but it's based geographically. Ideally, Boca Chica Beach was the ideal spot for this launch pad, this launch site to happen. And what do we see? We saw that back in 2012, 2013, legislation was changed in regards to the closure of the beaches. It was way back when that they started this idea. of Brownsville to Mars. Now, this MOU, this agreement wasn't made public until 2014. So when we ask ourselves exactly who gave away the beach, because according to people, they're saying it's Eddie Trevino, Judge Eddie Trevino. But is that so? Did Judge Eddie Trevino give away this land? I understand that people, and look, I'll be very frank with you. We have been very critical of Judge Trevino in the past. So much so that, friends of mine have been like, Frankie, you need to look into this. You need to tell the people, hey, educate. And that is the purpose of our program, to provide you the good, the bad, and the ugly. We have a very, very important county judge race coming up in less than 50 days, ladies and gentlemen. You will have a chance to vote for your next representative at the county. What we see from this transaction, ladies and gentlemen, is that the individuals that we should blame are the three people to Elon Musk's right: a senator and two representatives. God bless Representative Oliveira, who is no longer here with us. Those are the individuals that we need to blame. Now, again, we have elections coming up. And what is the opponents of Judge Eddie Trevino going to say, Commissioner Tetro? It was Judge Trevino. He gave away our land. It is because of him that Elon Musk has this. Well, is it? Was it Judge Eddie Trevino? When did Judge Trevino come on board? Well, let's talk about it. During this time, ladies and gentlemen, where there was this MOU agreement with Cameron County and SpaceX, again, all this happened in Austin. This was something that was brewing in 2012, 2013. It came into fruition 2014. It became official 2014. During that time, 2012, 2013, Judge Carlos Cascos, God bless his soul, was at the helm of Cameron County. And this is a very unique time because during this time when all this was brewing, when this picture was taken, Judge Cascos had a foot in Cameron County and he had a foot in Austin. And I say that because in 2014, Governor Abbott named Carlos Cascos Secretary of State. And that was a big deal for a Cameron County judge to be the Secretary of State. Was a big wow. And if you study Judge Cascos' story, it's a rags to riches. This man was born in Matamoros. He ended up going to school at the University of Texas, one of the most prestigious schools in all of the nation. He was an entrepreneur who created an accounting firm that is recognized throughout the valley, if not the state. So it was a big deal for someone from Brownsville to be selected by the governor to be the Secretary of State. So during this time where Elon Musk, the Lucios, and Oliveira, God bless his soul, were creating this MOU with Cameron County, Judge Cascos was the Secretary of State. And people could be asking, why are you protecting, why are you defending Trevino? We have been very honest with our community. And again, we have been very critical of Judge Trevino. One thing that we have been critical of, and we are not shy to correct ourselves, is the arena. The arena, ladies and gentlemen, presented The arena presented opportunity. And look, I'll be very honest with each and every one of you. We were critical of the county for putting this on the ballot, not once, not twice, but 3 times. And many people said, you know what? They don't care about us. And we were possibly one of the most vocalist ones out there. Why are they putting it on the agenda? Why are they putting it on the ballot? The voters spoke about it. When you talk to developers, when you talk about people within the economic development that want to create an economic boom, the first thing they're going to say is build it, and they will come. During this past municipal race, I spoke with then candidate Michael Rodriguez, who was vying for the District 4 position for the city of Brownsville. And I had him on the show, and I asked him, Michael, what are your thoughts on the arena that is being proposed, that is on the ballot, that is in your district? And he said, Frankie, I'm all for it. Me, being the commissioner, wanting to represent my constituents in District 4, who's going to benefit from this? District 4. Why? Because if you build something, you're going to stimulate, you're going to inject growth. People are going to want to spend money there. And you know, when an arena gets built, what's going to get built next to it? Well, the Madeira project, but hotels, restaurants. It would be an entertainment district. And maybe because I'm not a developer, maybe we, as laymen, we don't have understanding of that, but someone such as possibly Louis Tejerina. Louis Tejerina also ran for that seat. And I'm sure he would tell you, I'm in support of that. Why? Because we want growth. We want people to come spend their money here. Now, there is this idea of, well, taxes are going to rise, this and this, that and that. But ladies and gentlemen, in order to grow, you have to spend money. And I know that you're saying, Frankie, you're a hypocrite. You were against this initiative. But it's not what I say, ladies and gentlemen. It's not what I think. It's the reality of the issue. SpaceX was something that these individuals in Austin wanted to create, geographically speaking. Many people say, hey, it's a hole in the wall. Oh, so now that SpaceX is closed, now that SpaceX controls Boca Chica Beach, now everybody cares about it? Really? Why didn't they care about it before when SpaceX wasn't here? And of course, environmentalists, Judge Lerma, fishing enthusiasts, they cared about it. But the general public, did we care about it? Did it? And again, we're not defending no one. They could fight, they could vouch for their own. But my purpose before you is to educate. Why? Because we have a very important race coming up within 50 days. And this is something that the challengers are going to be throwing out to try and lie to you. They're going to say, Eddie Trevino gave away our beach. Did he give away our beach? Commissioner Tetreault reminds us he wasn't even in office when this happened. Remember, it was Judge Cascos. But again, Judge Cascos went to Austin during that time for about a year. If memory serves me right, for about a year. Pete Sepulveda served as a Cameron County judge during that time. So I ask you exactly, who gave away Boca Chica Beach to the world's richest man? Was it Judge Eddie Trevino? And we want to get ahead of the story because he's going to be accused of that. Our role before you is to educate, to let you know the good, the bad, and the ugly. What you decide to do with that information is totally up to you. When we talk about Judge Eddie Trevino, he didn't run for judge until, what is this? The March 2016 primary, where he ended up in a runoff with Dan Sanchez. So when the MOU of SpaceX was official in 2014, Eddie Trevino was not even at the helm. It wasn't until 2 years after. Now, why am I showing this? Because again, it is my responsibility to educate, to inform, to provide you with information. One thing that many people have criticized Judge Eddie Trevino is, oh, you gave away our beach, which we clearly informed you, let you know that it wasn't him who gave it away. It was Austin. One thing that people have criticized as well has been the beach closures, and rightfully so. One thing that I found from this is Eddie Trevino is on the record of saying, we want SpaceX to succeed, but not at the expense of the community. If they think that they'll be able to take over the highway or the beach, they are mistaken. This is somebody that is born and bred in Brownsville. He knows how people treasure the beach, how people love the beach. And he has been adamant of saying, hey, I'm going to do everything in my power as a county judge to fight this, to make sure that the beaches are for the people. Now, what have we seen? We have seen that Elon Musk has been within President Trump's inner circle. There was talks of SpaceX now having anywhere up to 24 to 25 launches per year. So it's interesting when people say, oh, well, Eddie Trevino, he gave away our beaches. Not quite. Oh, Judge Eddie Trevino didn't provide economic growth for our area. Well, not quite. According to his campaign, he says that $25 billion in private investments during his tenure at Cameron County, we have seen. And why is this important? Because elections are coming up. Do we know the platform that his rivals have? What's the platform of Steve Guerra? What's the platform of Eddie Garza? I don't know. We still don't have the details of what they plan, because you don't run against someone just to run. What are you going to change? What are you going to do different? Maybe in this next week or so, after January 5th, we'll start getting a better idea, because if these individuals plan on running on, oh, well, Eddie Trevino gave away our beach, or, oh, Eddie Trevino, put the arena on the ballot 3 times, in my opinion, that's not going to be enough. Eddie Trevino, say what you want, has shown and demonstrated that he can win. He brings 11,000 people to vote in the primary. 11,000. I don't think, with all due respect, I don't think that Eddie Garza has ever gotten 11,000 in a primary. I could be wrong. Steve Guerra got 2,700 votes for the port. Critics are asking, could Steve Guerra win a county race? It's going to be interesting. And also, when we talk about LNG, LNG is interesting because LNG, do they do business with the Port of Brownsville? Possibly. One thing that I've learned is that Judge Eddie Trevino voted against a tax abatement, a tax break for LNG. That's something that we're going to be covering in detail throughout the campaign. But one thing, ladies and gentlemen, one thing that nobody seems to talk about is Sofia Benavides. Sofia Benavides has been the Precinct 1 commissioner for 20 years. Have you ever heard her speak in regards to SpaceX? Have you ever heard her say, hey, and look, Boca Chica legends, Boca Chica Beach legends, they are adamant and they're saying, oh, Eddie Trevino, Eddie Trevino, Eddie Trevino. Have we ever heard anyone say anything about Sofia Benavides? Because at the end of the day, she is the representative for Boca Chica. Maybe I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. I have never heard Sofia Benavides either come out in favor or come out against SpaceX. Why? Why? Now, we understand you don't want to go up against Elon Musk. Elon Musk is a person who, if you follow Twitter, if you follow X, he asks who these judges are, who these people are, and he puts money in the rivals' campaign. Could it be where Sofia Benavides does not want to ruffle feathers? Who does she work for? Does she work for constituents of Precinct 1 or does she work for SpaceX? I understand. Eddie Trevino is the face of Cameron County, rightfully so. And maybe because he is the head and the face of Cameron County, he gets the brunt of it all. At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, the magic number in politics is 4. It takes, in a seat of 5, the number is 3 in Cameron County, if I'm not mistaken. Usually in government entities, when you talk about the city, the school district, you need 4 votes. 4 votes to pass legislation, to pass your agenda, to pass an agenda item. For Cameron County, it's 3 votes because it's 4 commissioners, precinct 1, 2, 3, 4, and the judge. So 3 votes. Correct me if I'm wrong. You need 3 votes. Is Eddie Trevino powerful? Yes, he's powerful. But at the end of the day, Eddie Trevino is 1 vote. Why don't we question Sofia Benavides? At the end of the day, that is her district. She has been in the shadows in regards to this very important issue. My question is, why? She possibly made a statement about, going up against SpaceX, against beach closures, but I haven't found anything. All we hear is, let's rag on Trevino. Boom, boom, let's rag on him. But what you need to do is ask the person in charge of that area. Remember, Judge Eddie Trevino is like the general manager of everything. Who gave away our beaches? We have a very important election coming up, ladies and gentlemen. We are less than 50 days away from early voting. One of the very important races here in Cameron County is going to be for the judge position. We all know where Judge Eddie Trevino stands. We all have seen how he's running on the platform of investment, economic growth. Look at what we have done while we have been at the helm. $25+ billion of investments moving forward. Do we know of Steve Guerra's platform? Do we know of Eddie Garza's platform? All I've seen from Steve Guerra is the port. Does the port benefit you and I? We still pay taxes. My grandpa pays taxes to the port. Do we benefit from the port? They say the economic jobs and growth and $3 billion. I don't know. Maybe if they don't tax us, maybe it would be a good thing, Steve. What is Eddie Garza's platform? He's saying that he won district clerk, that he won as a sheriff, but their critics are saying if he couldn't handle the sheriff position, could he handle the whole county? Steve Guerra's critics are saying, can he win a county race? He's only brought in 2,700 votes. Eddie Trevino brings in 11,000. Eddie Garza brings in 6,000, 7,000 votes. I ask you the question, my people. Exactly who gave away Boca Chica Beach to the world's richest man? It wasn't Eddie Trevino. He's not responsible for changing the constitution of the beach closures. I have showed you that he has been adamant of saying we wish SpaceX success, but they will not control our highways. That is something that I am going to be against. And look, we've been very critical of Judge Eddie Trevino, but we want you, the voter, to be better informed, to be aware of the truth. So I ask you again, exactly who gave away the beaches? It's easy. Austin did. Who hasn't been vocal about this issue? Commissioner Sofia Benavides. That is who gave away the beach to Elon Musk. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel titled Frankie Olivo TV. Best believe we will come on before you Monday through Friday religiously. So make sure that you subscribe to our channel on YouTube. My name is Frankie Olivo, and this is Good Morning Brazo. Peace!